In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, you silly, stupid sons of bitches? How you guys doing today? We have a very, very special guest. I'm talking about the light-skinned princess from Virginia. I'm talking about the silky-haired, straightened as fuck Boze Bozington.
You know, you complimenting my hair is the best compliment.
I love it.
Did I ever tell you about the one time that I almost pushed back my JK News shoot because I bought cheap weave and I was like,
you're going to get judged.
David's going to call me out. Because it was bad. It was so bad.
I would have looked at you and said, you got that $9.99 pack, dude.
Dude, yes. Super serious. I was trying to get something that was
pack.
like, okay, well, yeah. I still think I have the text message where I texted Tiff and I was like, is David going to be at? Is David going to be in the shoot? And she was like, no, I don't think he's going to be there. I was like, all right, I can still make it.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I will send it to you after this too.
I would have clowned on you. I would have taken you aside. It's like, you going through something? Like, what's going on? Like, you got a couple of issues? Like, what's going on?
But here we are now.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I fucking love it.
Thank you.
Like, you all professional and shit. I don't like this.
What?
I don't like you dressing all professional with the
David.
fucking button up. You look all adult and shit.
I know.
I
How
know.
did this happen?
I don't know. I don't like it though. Usually you got your titties out. You fucking.
I know. Normally, I don't. And it was like overnight too. You know, seriously, I put bows in a bag. Like
Yeah.
when I got the new like wardrobe because like the office I work at now, it's like there's a bunch of attorneys that work there. It's very buttoned up and corporate. Like not like there's a lot of places in LA that it's like you work in Santa Monica and you can wear sweatpants and one fucking flip flop, you know?
Yeah.
But like they're old school, so I kind of had to conform to that. But like I like it.
And so you're like straight up corporates.
Oh yeah, like not LA corporate. It's like corporate.
That's wild to me because like I feel like everybody who went on a social media platform decided to go away from that. And then you are so successful on that platform. And then you said, fuck it. Like usually people are bad at this shit and then they disappear. You know what I'm saying? But you're successful. Like not only do you have the personality for it, you got the looks for it, you got the whole spizzazz or whatever fucking white people say.
I've
Like
never heard anyone from any race say shabazz.
I don't know. Spizzazz? Isn't that a word?
Shabazzazz.
I think that's a Jewish term.
I'm sorry, but you know what? Go on.
Yeah, you know. Like you had like the whole thing going for you, and like you just decided. Like I remember just reading a tweet, and you're like, "Yeah, you know this corporate job." I was like, "Corporate job? What do you mean corporate job?"
Dude, I thought about this the other day because like I started like this. Okay, this is like the whack thing I'm going to tell you. I started writing in a grateful journal, like a gratefulness journal. And
Okay.
like, you know, and it helps me get more positive because I always used to be like a super negative person. And like that shit is so last year. Like I'm over it, you know? But
Yeah.
one of the things I thought about, I was like, damn, somebody must have been really mean to me in high school because I went from being a cast member on a YouTube channel with like 7 million subscribers to just being a marketing director in Beverly Hills like in just a few weeks. Like I was like, this is sick. And I'm just gonna write it out. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm kind of proud of myself, but also I'm like, damn. I was like, somebody was mean to me.
That's
Somebody
fucking
was real
wild.
mean to me.
Like you're on the opposite end of the people that I have to deal with.
What do you
Right?
mean?
Because you're a marketing director.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's complete. Well, at least you have experience in the
I'm
new
the
media
puppet
world.
master now.
Yeah, which you basically are, which is kind of wild. But you know what though? Like it's good to have you on that side because you do have social media experience, right? And you know what's on the side because usually what happens is when we deal with people who are marketing directors, they assume what it's like on this side.
Yeah, and that's something that I've been dealing with because I work with like a lot of attorneys and stuff right now. And basically my plan is to hop into this industry, you know, just get my hands dirty, understand it. You know, I got my title, we're building the resume, and then I'll probably return to entertainment, but still stay on the marketing and like, you know, C-suite side. So like,
Oh,
yeah.
so you're thinking about doing a comeback?
I'm coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Like I don't know if this is my comeback, right? So if I quit. Let's say if I quit doing YouTube, right, then I just have to go back to working at a black beauty supply store, which my fallback is way different than yours, you know?
Oh, well, okay. Are we going right into like how this even happened?
Yes, because that's what I really want to do. I'm just chopping it up just to hear the bullshit. But I really have you here because there is some motherfucking tea to be fucking drank and spilt.
There
I mean, just as a precursor, just to let everybody know, let them know who you are, what you did before prior to being a marketing director.
Okay. Well, so I started out. Actually, even rewind further. I was bartending in Virginia, and then I decided I'm gonna go bartend in Vegas. I didn't like Vegas. And so then I went back to Virginia and I started streaming on Twitch.
I thought you say stripping, and I was like, what?
No, but my roommate, she was a stripper, and like it started to become normalized to me. And it kind of scared me because I was like, if I stay here longer, I'm going to fall into this lifestyle. Because when you're around it a lot, it's like your morals just get kind of like, I'm not saying that it's like moralist to do that, but like,
It's your values. Just say values.
My values.
Your personal values.
Yeah, my personal values. And like the longer I was around it, I was like, damn, I'm going to fall into this. And I didn't want to fall into that. So, you know, in Vegas, I was just getting wasted every night and like, you know, just hanging out with people that weren't the best. And so I decided to leave and went back to Virginia. And I didn't really know what to do. And I started streaming on Twitch because I've been playing video games since I was like, God, I don't even know. Like, forever. That was my thing, you know, online. I just like escaped to playing video games because I was like very rejected by people for a lot of my life. So suddenly you can you know, you can just hop online and these people don't know what you look like. They don't know what you're about. They just accept you. If you're good at the game, they accept you. And you know, for a person that had horrible self-esteem, I gained a lot of my self-esteem just by being good at these games and getting better at these games because that's how I learned to have people accept me. Yeah. And so gaming is very, very like close to me. It like built the foundation for kind of who I was. And so it was kind of natural for me to start streaming on Twitch. I want to say like in 2014. So I did that for a while. And like one day I get like a call from this company and they're like, hey, we like what you're doing. You want to come out to LA and do this out here? And I'm like, okay.
That. It was just like a direct line.
Yeah. They hit me up and I was like, okay. So I went through like 2 auditions and eventually they were like, oh, this is for Smosh. And like, I looked it up and I was like, cause I knew what it was, but like I hadn't really kept up with it. And I was like, oh, you guys do honest game trailers. And like there was a whole cast behind it and this whole thing. So, you know, I went through, I did all the auditions and then, you know, I made the cut and I moved out to LA and I joined Smosh. And it was tight. It just like I call it serendipity because it came out of nowhere.
So you just up and fucking leave shit, huh? You just fucking what's that say? You throw caution to the wind. You just
caution to the wind.
Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I would have done it if I didn't come out to LA with a salary. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like because, you know, I'm not ballsy like that. I have anxiety, David.
Okay.
You know? So yeah, I joined Smosh, but I left Smosh. I mean, there was a lot that happened with the company, but the channel itself was still being sold. And, you know, as far as I know, everyone is still on board.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, the quick background too is like Smosh went through this whole thing where they were supposed to disappear because the
company, the parent company of Smosh filed for bankruptcy. They had an investor that last minute kind of looked at their credit and looked at like, you know, what was going on with the company and they pulled out on this massive investment and then suddenly the company couldn't make payroll. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, they made some like, in my opinion, I felt like they made some bad business decisions as far as like they had an office in Times Square, an office in San Francisco, an office in Chicago. I heard the office in Times Square, each room had like personalized wallpaper. If it was your office, you could pick your own damn wallpaper. Like, what is that for? You know? So yeah, so the parent company called Defy Media, they went bankrupt. You hear all that shit with like Shane Dawson and Matt Pat and all that? No. Yes, Matt Pat said the Defy. So basically, before we get to why I left Smosh, so Matt Pat made a video where he was saying that Defy was trying to sell all of its assets, including Smosh, because it knew that it was going under. But it was an MCN, so they were collecting money from other channels, like Game Theorists, like Shane Dawson's Rylan Adams channel. Like the MCN was like, hey, 100% of your check goes to us. We take 10%. We protect you from copyright, you know, a lot of other stuff. We promote your channel, and then we send you the 90%. Well, before the company shut down, they held everyone's checks for 2 months to make the company look more profitable. Yeah. And then the company shut down and nobody got their money.
What the
fuck? Yeah, so all those YouTubers didn't get their AdSense. It was about $2 million of AdSense.
Dude, see, this is what I'm saying. This is why I stay poor. Because poor people don't got to deal with none of these fucking problems.
Because you don't expect, like if I'm expecting a check for like $100,000 and I don't get it, I'm pissed.
That's what I'm saying.
Rich.
That's what I'm telling you right now. You guys think I suck. No, it's because I choose to stay poor. That's fucking wild. That's so amazing. I mean, I know it's a bad story, but it's kind of amazing how like a couple of YouTubers got to a point where their company blew up that fucking big, but it was only because Defy Media bought them out, right? It was their influx of money.
No, Defy was like, Defy was like a startup. Smosh, I believe, was its first acquisition. And it used the name Smosh to get other channels to join its MCN.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's kind of. I feel like that's kind of how a lot of these MCNs started, right? With the one that was sold to Disney Maker.
Yeah, wasn't that like $500 million? And
it was something ridiculous.
Yes, and then when Disney got it, they were like, no, and then they opened the box, and there was nothing in there.
Yeah,
fucking
disappeared.
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It's like it's a whole new industry. New media is a whole new industry. So there's ways that you can swindle your way around doing certain things, because there's not a lot of laws and regulations in place. People hate laws and regulations, but they don't understand that not everyone is a good or smart person, and they will fuck you over. And that's why those regulations are in place. Yeah.
I mean, especially when it came to that whole acquisition, like slowly you started to realize, specifically like people in Disney, I felt like they're very old fashioned. Like even the way that I know people who work at Disney and how they run things, it's still very old fashioned. And then you get this social media thing coming on and they're like, oh, we know how to run this. No, you don't.
Yeah, they're like, let's just buy one because that's what those big companies do.
Yeah, it's like we got $40 billion. Let's just throw like a few million at this and see what happens. I mean, to them, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, what do they own? Fucking Star Wars. They own Marvel. They own they own everything now.
But I mean, still $500 million.
Dude, I wouldn't even know what to do with $500 million.
I would, right? Like the thought of just like it puts me into a panic. I would be irresponsible.
Oh, for sure, I would be irresponsible. But even my irresponsibility, I can't even think about how much money I could spend because the type of money I would spend, I would just walk down every street, find everybody I don't like, and slap the fucking shit out of them.
Because you got money,
and throw cash in their face, and then see what happens. Just slap. It's like, why'd you do that? Here's $10,000. Shut the fuck up.
I want to get slapped
for $10,000. Exactly. You wouldn't say shit. Yeah. If somebody slapped my face, if somebody whipped out their huge dick and then just used it as chapstick for my lips and they went like that and they were like $10,000. I was like, you know what, dude? It was worth it. And I go home.
Right? But and you were just talking earlier about like how you don't like being disrespected. I mean, imagine somebody just walking up to you and just slapping the fuck out of you, but then they hand you money.
Oh, then I'm not disrespected. That was a trades of goods.
It was a trade.
That was a barter system. That's what we did right there. We traded goods, all right? His self-esteem went up and my bank account went up. It's all good.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, it's a shaky thing, but
we got to know why you left Smosh though.
I knew that was.
Oh, I gotta know. I got it because she has been hyping me up about. I wouldn't say hyping up, but like
I kept telling David I'm gonna save it for the podcast.
Yeah, because I haven't like talked to her in a minute, and obviously it's because you've been working like a regular job. I expect you to come back on JK News, but obviously JK News has a very weird schedule, so it's hard to. Yeah, it's gonna be damn near impossible. So
I can eventually, but it's just like it was easier because like we can like do the podcast after hours, but I'm gonna be back on JK soon, but. I had a story I was going to say for JK, but I might spill it here, but we'll get to that later.
Oh.
So, all right. So, why I left Smosh.
Clickbait, motherfucker.
Dude. All right. But I'm actually going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. And you just went.
I know. I'm licking my lips like I saw a fucking stack of ribs. I was like,
So, we got a little bit of tea, but also, like, just some real ass shit. Some real ass shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So some people watch Smosh. I know a lot of like JK, like David fans and stuff, but there was a video that we put out. We filmed in December, I want to say of 2017.
Yeah.
And so Smosh people, this is video where we're like, thank you for watching Smosh. It's just like, it's really cringy, but I had to like let them know like what the video was. Okay. So it was like that video. And in the video, they lined up all of the cast in the front, and then they were putting staff, like the whole staff of Smosh in the background, and we kind of were like in Christmas Carol formation, right?
Yeah.
And so the cast was lined up first, and so we were sitting there for about 20 minutes while they lined everyone up. And I had this revelation because I was sitting there, And I was surrounded by, I want to say there was about 11 or 12 people in the cast at the time. I was looking around and I was like, these are some good looking, talented, funny kids.
Yeah.
And there's 12 of us. And we're not all going to make it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just some real shit. And I had to step back for a second. And I was like, it's ambitious to think that even one of us is going to make it and be successful in this field, battling it out with everyone in Los Angeles. And so I asked myself 3 questions, basically. I was like, do I have the connections to make it out here in LA? Do I have the drive to be the top of the entertainment industry? And, do I have the skill to do so? And like, this was all happening in that video, like before the video was shot. Cause I was like deep in it because I was like, damn, and I was like, well, I've lived in LA for a year, so I definitely don't have the connections. Mm-hmm. I've been a gamer for like 10 years. I've just been coasting, and this opportunity fell on my lap. I wasn't out here like going and get it. I haven't been putting out content for years and, dreaming of having my name in lights. So I didn't have the drive. And then on top of that, I haven't perfected my comedy as a craft, and I've never tried to do so. I find myself to be entertaining, but I'm not necessarily an entertainer. So for me to go across the board and say no to all 3 of those questions was really enlightening, because I was like, I don't think that this is going to be my industry. I don't think that this is for me. And, if I do become successful in it, I'm not going to take that away from someone who is fighting for it and has been fighting and dreaming for this for their whole life.
Well, you're a really nice person. I don't even think about it like that. I'm like, listen, I got all this opportunity. I'm going to take this from some motherfucker. And guess what? Guess what? You didn't jump on it, stupid bitch.
I just knew that it wasn't my top priority. And another thing about me is you got to stick to your values. And my values tell me that I have to be the best at what I'm doing. I have to be excellent. It's very important for me to be, in the top 5% of what I'm doing.
Are you Japanese? Like, what are you doing? I have to be excellent. I have to be number one.
I must be.
If I don't become excellent, I have to kill myself with a seppuku, a sword to the stomach.
And that's what it was, because, like, you don't... some people... How do I explain it? Like, I'm very competitive.
Okay.
I'm very, very competitive. So if I'm in the top 45 percentile, which is a sustainable entertainment career, you're still successful, you're still making money, you're still making moves. I'm not happy with myself. I have to do better. And to enter a field that I'm not really in control of my success was kind of scary to me, and it just wasn't my jam. I wasn't about it. Yeah. So after I realized that was in 2017, I started trying to look for ways within the company to build my resume, because I wanted to stick out in LA. I wanted to make it work. And I had like a boss that was like, oh, yeah, well, I can help you career path into marketing. Well, like weeks or months in, I realized that wasn't happening. So I started trying to create shows that I could put on my resume. Mm-hmm. And I made I made one show that was like kind of funny, whatever. And then I came out with this court parody show that did insanely well. The channel went from getting like 200,000 views per video to like this series was getting 1 million, like consistently. Oh, wow. Yeah. People loved that shit. And so I was really excited about it, and I was like, damn, I can put this on my resume. I'm producing and show running. And so right before the company shut down, I was in the middle of getting this really fucking fantastic Survivor style game shows approved, where it was just all the castmates and we were going to start boating each other off over shit. It was like drama, it was games, it was funny. It was so good. It got greenlit. We were starting to figure out where to put product placement and stuff like that. This shit was happening. And then the company shut down, like out of nowhere. I was a little nervous at first because my resume was not where I wanted it to be. I thought that I had like another year there, and they told us, we're not getting paid. We're not getting paid severance. We're not getting paid out for the next 2 months. And on the Wednesday that I was told this, we were told we may not have even been getting paid for Monday and Tuesday that we had just worked, because the CFO had quit. It was just out of left field. So like my brain went into like panic mode, and it was like, all right, what do? I went home. I wrote the fucking resume the day we got that letter, and I started looking. And then about the first week that I started looking, so I would say this was around like November 6th, okay? The first week I started looking, I realized, okay, I have a producer resume. I went onto this website to like look for producer things, and the first couple ones I saw up there were 20 years experience, master's degree in film, producer of this, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I'm not competing with this. I was
Yeah.
like, we're not doing this. This is not going to work. And I'm not going to sit here and struggle. Or like I can struggle or I can set myself up. You know, I'm not swimming in a sea of actors. I'm not swimming in a sea of producers. I'm just not doing it. So I took a look at everything that I had as a whole and what skills I had. And I was like, I have some digital media experience. I have some marketing experience. I need to find a company that needs to make the switch to digital and hasn't yet, because they need me just as much as I need them.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Damn, that's fucking boss as fuck.
Yeah,
Dude,
I came out.
fucking survivor, dude.
I went into this company and I went in as the digital marketing manager. And I think within like 41 days, I took over the marketing department.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Man, you make me feel like a piece of shit. Don't you ever meet my parents ever.
And then I'm going to tell them the whole.
Don't you fucking dare. Well, you sit there and you just be a stereotype. All right, that's what you need to do.
What is my stereotype? Country bumpkin,
That's
black
right.
woman from Virginia.
You sit there on a fucking porch with a piece of wheat coming out your mouth. All right, that's what you do.
Dude, I had I had a minute, like, not to suck my own dick or anything, but I had a minute where like I got a letter for Christmas from my grandparents. And it had the address of where we used to live. And I realized, and I never thought about this. And like, there's some people that are like, well, I can't make it here because this is how I was raised. This is my situation. I saw the address of where the house I grew up in. And I just decided to Google it because, you know, nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I decided to Google it. And I saw the house posting for it. And I realized that I grew up in a 1,000 square foot house with 6 people. And I just never thought anything of it, like in the countryside in Virginia.
Yeah.
I never thought anything of it. Like, that's where I'm from. That's where I was raised until I was like, I don't know, like 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
Then we moved to a city. But like, that's where I came from. And I never thought about that. I never let it stop me. And like, I'm going to just keep fucking rolling.
That's crazy though. But your idea of like just continuing to roll on is not just rolling on though. You're trying to master a craft. And that is hard to do. And it's very hard for me to explain people. Like, for example, even starting this podcast, right? People don't understand what it means to really do something because you really want to be great at something or because you enjoy it. People look at success as just numbers, right?
Yeah.
So how much money are you making? All right. Or they'd see it in the value of what other people think about what you're doing. They go, oh, well, why'd you do this? Because you were more successful in that. Well, who says who? Says who? You're not in my shoes. You're not living my life. You're not going to have to wake up with these choices that you make every day, but I do.
Yes.
I have to wake up knowing the fact that I'm very unhappy. Just because you see this like external success, it doesn't, I don't fuck with it. I could give a fuck less what you think about how successful I am. I got to believe it. Right? So we got to wake up and we got to live with these choices. And that's pretty amazing because like for me, even on the outside, even though I say this, I was like, this bitch lost her fucking mind. Fucking corporate job. but now that we talk, it makes sense, right? Because in my mind, I assume that the entertainment was like the only path that you really wanted to go to. But that's not really the case.
No, I just, it has served me, and it served me incredibly well.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible part of my life. And you have to choose the next right step for you.
Yeah.
And, I think the reason why initially I gravitated towards entertainment was because I was very insecure. And I thought that if people liked me, I would like myself. And, I had a point where I hit 100,000 followers on Instagram and I was so excited. And I realized that I still fucking hated myself.
Yeah.
Nothing had changed. It's nothing but a vanity metric. So I had to do a lot of soul searching and figure out why I was so unhappy and why I thought, these things about myself and why I was looking for external validation. And that's a realization a lot of people don't get to come to because they don't get to see those numbers and realize that they're all empty, And I mean, there definitely is a lot of love and a very supportive community, but nothing fulfills you as much as patting yourself on the back finally. Like, if you've never done that before, it's so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, external validation is very fleeting too because people's opinions about you change constantly.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
All the time.
They love you one day, they fucking hate you the next. So how can you base how you feel about yourself about what other people say about you when they don't even know what the fuck they're saying about you too?
Exactly.
They'll love you one day, they'll hate you, they'll be whatever about you. They'll be like, okay, well now I love you again. It's like I can't sit here and wait for you to tell me what my value is because this is just stupid. I haven't figured it out for myself yet. You know, and that's the hard part too, especially with, man, I read this, I don't know, I think his name is Ninja or something. I don't know anything about the gaming world.
Guy, yeah,
but one of my friends retweeted what he said, and the reason why he retweeted it, he wanted me to see it, is because he wrote this, it was something along the lines of, when he's sad, he goes, sometimes when I'm sad, I like to go look back at my old comments to make me feel better. That's what he tweeted. And then people fucked with that. It had a fucking shit ton of retweets. And I'm like, is that how you live? Like, when you're sad, you look back at people sucking your fucking dick to make yourself feel better?
That's so, but see, you know what? That's a mentality that sometimes has a slow rise, or it has an overnight rise.
Yeah.
And I feel, as a person that realized that, you know, that this external validation was not my jam, you know, like, I feel like we kind of got the slow rise. We got to see the ups and downs of it over the years as it came. But for people that have the overnight thing, well, suddenly their brain switches and they have to have the external success because everyone's watching them. And it sucks to be in an age where everyone can see how successful you are with numbers.
Yeah.
It's not fair, because then you feel this pressure to raise those numbers when, like you said, those numbers are not really indicative of success.
It becomes like a person's value metric.
It does.
Like,
and people can antagonize you on your value metric. Like,
it's weird because I feel like, actually not even feel, like I've seen this with a lot of my friends, younger kids, right? They literally base their group of friends on how many followers they have, their interactions on Instagram, and that they become the popular kids through that type of thing, which is so fucking weird. It was already hard enough when we were in school, right? So it's like the popular kids or whatever, but now there's an actual fucking number that you can see to place value on you as a human being.
Oh, can you imagine being in high school and having Instagram right now? Like, I would cry.
Oh, for sure.
I would cry. Somebody probably would have posted a story of me eating my lunch in the bathroom. That would have fucked me up. Like, dude, that would have fucked me up. They go to my page and, like, there's like 2 selfies with one like 0 likes and 1 comment that's like, hey, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's pretty bad. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's one of the things I'm starting to think now, where I had a conversation with my girlfriend and I asked her, you know, when we have a kid, because we have a lot of our friends, they post their children up on social media, right? But there's somebody who doesn't do it that's very popular, Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat only shows the back of the head of his kid, right? He doesn't want people to know our identity.
Yeah.
And there's like two sides to that, right? It's like, well, I have this child. Why can't I just share the joy that I have with this kid? These are memories.
Yeah.
But then my other side of the coin is, why do you need other people to see your memories?
That's,
you know,
yeah.
So for me, it's like, I understand that there's value in having your kid there, right? Like, let's be real. Like, when a lot of people, like even Bart and Geo, right? Like, they want to share the love of their kid, right? And I completely fuck with it. It's absolutely amazing. But if somebody asked me if I wanted to do that with my own kid, I don't know. Not because of maybe not for so much for the kid's sake too, but also for my sake. I don't know if I can put my kid out there for that. Like, because even though like I'm on a social media space, I'm actually very, very private. Like, I'm super.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Like, I have a lot of fucking opinions. I'll tell a lot of my personal stories that I'm okay telling. And there's a lot of fucking stories, but there's still that 30 or 40% that's very reserved that nobody will ever hear that shit, you know, unless it's like off camera or something else.
Right.
You know, and for me, like, to have my kid on that thing makes me a little worried.
It's really personal.
Yeah.
It's a little too personal, because it's like, I made that.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the most like, that's so personal.
And then I'm already putting the value metric on that kid before they even get to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, here, well, this is who you are as a person. You're connected to me. You're going to have X amount of followers, this, and this, and this is going to be your life. And I'm already setting it in stone before I'm allowing this kid to develop who they are as a person.
Right.
And that's what scares me. And these aren't facts, by the way. This is just my thoughts and opinions. It's stuff that I'm worried about as somebody who doesn't have a kid yet.
No,
you know?
and I mean, like, I totally get it, because it has to do with, you know, like, your values. Like, what you know, if part of your value is being a private person, whereas some people, you know, that's not a part of their values.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah, I just don't want, like, I'm scared of, like, just because I see kids, like, breaking under that type of pressure, and for them to already be attached to I guess a quote unquote semi-popular human being, and then to have that space grow from that. It's just a weird thing. You know, I feel like I'm already setting their destiny now, before they even have a chance to write their own. And that's the part that fucking scares me. And plus, I don't want my kid to be a little fucking shit either.
I mean, seriously, because if you start him off with all those followers, it's gonna go to his head from the beginning, and he will never know what it's like to not base his own value on a metric.
Yeah,
he'll never know.
Like a part of me.
But at the same time, your kid might get pissed if you didn't share any of those followers, and he's got to go to school, and now he's got like 23 followers, and nobody likes him.
I'm gonna jump him at school then. How about that?
And they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, he got jumped by David So." You be like, "Follow me."
They're like, "What the fuck? How come that kid looks like he's 40 years old?" I'm gonna fucking dress up with the overall and the little fucking spinning thing on the top. It's like 40-year-olds don't even dress like that.
No, but see, that's
multicolor suspenders.
But that's also why I fuck with you, David, because like you, and actually, you know, a lot of. Oh no, here it's coming. It's the tea.
say what you want.
I feel a lot of like genuineness and warmth between like you and like, you know, like other people that are in JK.
Yeah.
I was at Smosh for 2 years and it was just cold every day.
Oh wow.
Every single day. Like, I mean, I think that coming into that, this is a, you know, this is, and not all of them, but some of them, this is a very tightly knit group of people that have been friends for 5 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to just walk in and be their friend.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think early on, I think I was kind of weird. I was socially awkward. I'm sure I was unprofessional. Like, these people are very, very professional, like super savvy business folks. And I was just a kid that came in. And, you know, I learned a lot there, but I feel like I was never forgiven for some of the socially awkward, you know, ness that I had. And, you know, even looking back, I'm like, ooh, that was kind of cringy or that was that. But, you know, I never wronged anyone. And
like what? Like, what would you do?
Oh, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like I would just like do embarrassing stuff, or like I was like unprofessional or would speak at the wrong time, or like.
You were unprofessional at a place called Smosh?
Yeah. It's all business, dog. It's all business.
That's so weird. Like, yeah, I would never think that.
After, let's see, the company had a falling out in November. I've a person there that I'm actually pretty good friends with. But other than that, I've gotten 2 text messages from them. I got a happy birthday from one person, and I got another, hey, just wanted to let you know this is what's going on with Smosh. I hope you're doing well. And that's it.
That's so weird because, like, even in a corporate setting, right? And like in a corporate setting, like my girlfriend, she worked in a corporate setting. After she moved from her job to the next one, she's working a new job now. She still keeps in contact with the people that she connected with. Like, they still hit her up. They get lunch together. There's a connection after the job. So like, it's kind of odd that, and it's even more weird from a place that started from YouTube, because like you've been with JK, right? Like all of us, we have a huge family mentality.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I felt that from. You know, I worked with you guys before I went to your studio, and the day that I sat down in your studio, I was like, "Oh, this is warm. This feels like home. These people are real." And it kind of sucked to, you know, to go into a place every day and not feel that warmth when you had to put that warmth on camera.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sucked to come in on a Monday and hear about some event or some party or some house party or just something that was going on that you didn't know about because you weren't invited.
That's so, what the fuck? That's so fucking weird, man.
And you know, I spent a lot of time and I was like, okay, well, it's me. Like, I'm weird. Like, I'm just fucking weird. I'm a weird person. And to this day, I'm not.
You're not weird. You were just in a sea full of white people. I'm playing, kind of.
You know, I think it was that it was all business, and I'm like a puppy dog. Like I wanted more. Like I wanted friendship. Like I wanted I'm a very vulnerable person, and I'm happy to open myself up. And I had several times where, and I think that's another thing too. I think sometimes, you know, if there was some kind of issue or conflict, I would put my heart out on the table, and it was just very cold. And I learned you don't do that in business. You can't be real with people. This is not a friendship. This is a business.
Yeah.
And
but you know, in that kind of sense, yeah, but not so true though, because there are still companies that run outside of just YouTube, right? Like in animation and production, right?
Yeah.
Emotions do matter. That's why they have a fucking HR. People's emotions do fucking matter. There are connections that are being built at these companies.
Yeah.
So whatever Smosh was doing in the background that made you feel that way, in my personal opinion, like I said, I don't know them on a personal scale, but
me either.
That's what I'm saying. That's on them. That's their company culture then. Because if they're thinking, yeah, I understand. I 100% agree. Business is business, right? But when you're doing something with like along with production, TV, and stuff like that, staff morale is huge.
Yeah.
It's so fucking big.
But that's the thing. They were close. I was not a part of that circle. And there was a few circles, but I was not part of that circle. And I never felt welcomed in that
Let me ask you
circle.
something. How many black people did Smosh have?
They got rid of my boy, and then there was another.
Because he was too dark. I know.
That's what happened. That's what happened. They said we don't trust him.
They called him a living shadow.
This is a
And that's what they
liability.
said. This motherfucker. No, I'm kidding.
But no, I mean, yeah, there was I don't know. I guess I'm just fucking weird.
Nah,
But-
I don't think you're weird though. Like I know weird because so this is what it is. There's
Okay,
different
okay.
categories of weird, right?
All right, what
There's-
category of weird am I?
You're fun weird, right?
Okay.
It's called quirky.
So I'm weird.
You know what I'm saying? Of course you're weird. You're like I'm the fucking metric for normal though.
You see
know what I'm
this,
saying?
David? I'm secretly like just a giant puppy dog, or just a small puppy dog. Like that's what I am.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's weird, and then there's fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like you're out here in K-Town sitting on a bench eating a can of beans, shitting through a fucking bench. Like, by the way, that's something I actually did see.
Okay.
And so like that's that type of weird, right? There's also the weird that just attention seeks all the time. It's just really corny, just a cornball and shit.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that weird, right?
that's-
But you're just a quirky weird. Like you're different. That's all. You know what I mean? So that's a good weird. I like weird people. Everybody in JK's weird as fuck. You think Joe is normal?
No.
Joe is weird.
That came out too fast, Joe. I'm so sorry.
Like Joe is like the most fun type of weird dude I've ever met.
Yeah.
This motherfucker, like he has a
But he's also smart as fuck.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he has Joe's so funny to me. Joe will have a conversation and he'll do things that he expects us to know, but nobody in human earth will understand what's going on. Like he'll say some shit and he'll be like, "Yup." Draws in the air and he goes, and then he goes, "You get it?" I'm like, wait, I'm sorry, what did you just do? He goes, "I just wrote my words out." Yeah, bitch, how the fuck are we supposed to know what that shit you drew
I
to the
didn't
air?
start paying attention until halfway through, so I only caught the last syllable of the word. How
And the
am I
only
supposed
reason
to,
why I knew it was like an emphatic thing because I saw him draw the exclamation mark. You know? Like,
That's a very Joe thing to do. And you know what? The head motion would come too.
yep. And that's who Joe is. You know what I mean? And that's a really weird type of weird. Bart's fucking weird too. I say like the most normal person in the fucking group, to be honest with you, would probably be like the girls, like Tiff.
Gio, yeah.
Like Gio's pretty normal. She's pretty like, you know, just normal, nothing really out there. And same thing with Tiff. You know.
Well, you didn't see the JK News Girls thing behind the scenes.
Yeah, y'all were drinking though. That's a little different though, right? Weren't you? I heard you guys were fucking sipping on some shit.
And I can't remember who brought it up either. They were like, "Ladies," and I was like, and you know, also just because like,
probably Nikki.
you know what I was saying last time about like, you know, it was so cold, you
Yeah.
know, so for them to be like, "Ladies, the bottle, we're going to Bali next week," I was like, is this what having a group of girlfriends is supposed to be like? I was like, this is
So you
lit.
signed up with the wrong fucking company.
I know,
You
but
shoulda
no, I still look. I still got to be grateful, you know.
Of course.
we still, but.
But fuck them. No. But
I'm mad that there was like a moment where we looked at each other and I was like, "Say it."
I'll say this though, you know, I heard Smosh, like the two guys are from Sacramento or like a part of
Yeah,
Sacramento, but I heard
yeah.
they're from like Natomas though. Natomas is a bunch of rich white people, so I was never allowed there. Like I think I tried to go in there was a force field that bounced me right back out.
And they were like, "No."
Yep, and I was like, what the fuck? I started miming towards this shit. I was like, the fuck is this?
Nah, they were cool though. I only met the one dude. He was only there for a while, and like I didn't know it was when I first joined that he was about to leave, and like I didn't really know him that well, but that dude was like always in his head. So like I should have known some shit was about to go down. Like we'd be on a shoot and he would just be sitting there, and they'd be like, "Anthony."
Oh,
like
shit.
like it was, yeah, there was a lot going on there, and like
Because they were, I remember did they have a movie on Netflix?
Yeah, I think they had like 2 movies. But I mean, that's how it goes. Once something is a sellable IP, they're like, put it on a lunchbox, sell it, ship
Yeah.
it, stick it in my dick, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like
I think I
it's-
tried watching it and then I
You tried?
Yeah.
Well, David, goodbye.
yeah, well, I turned it on and then I started watching it and then I took my TV and I threw it out the window. That shit was so fucking bad.
Oh my God.
And I think that was like one of the first introductions that I had to Smosh because I knew of Smosh, but I never saw anything Smosh did. And so I was like, yo, for me, like, I may sound like a fucking hater, but I will say this. When I see a YouTuber succeed and then go to another platform, it makes me happy. Because now it's like, to the rest of mainstream media, it's like, suck my fucking nuts, bitch.
Yeah, that's true.
You said we couldn't do it. Well, guess what? Here's the YouTuber that showed fucking facts that they can. And so when I saw Smosh, I was like, I know they're YouTubers, so fuck yeah, I gotta support this shit.
Right? That's, I was thinking about that the other day because I saw Pokimane. She's a Twitch streamer, and like I think she started probably just a few months or a year before I did. I saw her on Amazon Prime. I was like, hell yeah, girl, you go, girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because like I'm on this new thing now where like I love seeing people succeed.
Yeah.
Like before, I was just kind of like, actually no. Before I was a fucking hater, David.
Oh really?
I was a hater. because I was so miserable myself. I needed everyone to be miserable with me.
Yeah.
And now that like I'm happy and pretty chill, like I love seeing people succeed, and I know how it feels when people support me when I'm doing well in something, and so I'm like, I want to do that for everyone. You know?
And to that credit too, like I just mentioned, just because I don't like the shit that you do doesn't mean I'm not supporting what you're doing.
Right.
There's a lot of YouTubers out there who I think their product is absolute hot flaming garbage.
Yeah, shit.
Right?
It's like a parade of garbage.
Doesn't mean that reflects on you as a human being though. Like, I'm allowed to have an opinion on the art that you put out. Same thing with me. You could listen to this podcast and be like, yo, that guy David, I don't get him. I don't think he should be successful. That's cool. Just don't be disrespectful to me. That's all.
Yeah, like leave it. It's like I posted a tweet the other day because like so many people, there's like a bandwagon where people like to hate on JoJo Siwa, the girl with the ponytail. She's like a younger YouTuber. I think she's like 16 or 17.
Damn.
She's like fucking 6'10". I saw her at a convention one time. I thought she was on stilts. She's huge, but she dresses like a 10-year-old because that's her brand and that's her audience. And people are like, don't you think it's creepy that JoJo does this? Like, she's just making content. And they don't know how to transition her yet. It's like all business. Shut the fuck up and mind your business.
Yeah.
Like it's like. There's this weird thing where people think that all content should be for them, otherwise it's garbage.
Oh yeah, man. They just want the shoe to fit only on them.
Oh yeah, it's all about.
And that's the weird thing too. Like I had to learn that shit too, though. Because like when okay, let me just to be real. Like I probably was a hater too when I first came in because I came from traditional stand up, right? So I wanted to be a stand up comic, and then everybody was doing this YouTube shit, and I was like, this shit's fucking whack. This is so stupid, dude. And mind you, like the first person that I saw who I actually really enjoy, he seems like a really dope person, right? I don't really like his videos, but he seemed like a really cool person. But the first video that I saw of somebody doing comedy was actually Shane Dawson. And it was in my sociology class in college. And they were showing new media, like when it was just started to pop off.
Yeah.
And at this time, I didn't know that on YouTube you could create video content. I thought it was somebody else who uploaded all this random shit. I didn't know that you could be a content creator on there. And I saw Shane Dawson on there. I saw his stuff and I was like, whoa, this white boy is not funny. And I was like, I could do this better. And that was just me being competitive at the time. Right.
But it's what propelled you.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Until this day, spite is the thing that drives my engine. So it's the
Same.
fuel. Spite is the fuel for me. You know what I mean?
Like sometimes I'll have like a bad conversation or somebody will say some shit and then I'll get all in my head and I'll get sad and I'm like, nah, light that fire. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, yo, you know what's funny too? Because especially like, with the film that I did, Gook, like we did this film and it got into Sundance and everything else, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
So I did this film and people, when I was at Sundance, people were asking me, like, oh, so what was the motivation for this film? Was it because you don't see a lot of Asian faces on this stuff? I was like, in my mind, like in the interview, I said, of course, like I want to support my Asian brothers and sisters. Like I want to be, we can act. That's not it. It was a completely petty thing. I wanted to be signed by a bunch of acting agencies, right? And they wouldn't sign me because they got burned by a lot of fucking new media people who wouldn't show up to their auditions. They thought they were better than these auditions, which mind you, that's fine. You could think that, but just don't get signed to an agency and not go, right? And so
That's true.
I got burned and nobody would sign me. So I was like, oh, you think I can't act? Fuck you, I'm gonna make a movie. And so that was the
that was the damn, you just outed yourself too. But that's you ascending from I was talking to somebody about this the other day. So the whole influencer thing, the title influencer, that's a title that Hollywood gave us to not let us be celebrities. Yeah. Even though some people
that's some fucking yeah.
And then we just accepted it. We were like, yeah, influencer, that's what we are. But why is, Amanda Cerny has like 20 million followers. She's bigger than a lot of TV stars right now. But she's, no matter what, she's an influencer. She's not a celebrity. She's always an influencer. Hollywood gave us that name, and we were like, thank you, Father. Thank you so much. And we accepted it. And now it's so hard to break out of the title influencer. And I think that you've actually broken that mold, but a lot of people haven't, and a lot of people won't, because you have to step outside of your circle. And some people won't step outside of their circle because that's not getting them numbers and recognition. That doesn't matter.
And, you know, to that, too, like, I always tell people, it's like, well, they're like, okay, I'm going to do movies. Like, who says you have to? You don't have to do a fucking movie. It's a different craft. It's probably not your fucking lane. And it probably wasn't mine. I just did something out of spite.
I don't know why, but, like, okay, I saw the, like, post for your movie, but I didn't see the movie. But for some reason, when you said that you're doing acting, I'm picturing you, like, naked, wrapped up in a blanket, like,
you know what?
in a soft vignette, like, film.
You know what? It's probably I put that on myself because I put myself butt naked in plenty of blanket sheets for no goddamn reason. So,
was that in the movie?
No, but have you seen? I'll show you some Instagram posts. So I did this whole series.
That's what I was just picturing.
So I did
soft
this whole.
David.
So I did this whole fucking series where I was just making fun of Instagram girls. And so basically any basic bitch that would put out a post that has nothing to do with whatever fucking like social justice cause that they're supporting, but they're half naked with their pussy out. And so I did my version of that shit, and I did like 12 photos of it because I was gonna do a calendar.
Did you do it?
I did do it. So I put every photo out on Instagram, but it's pretty fucking scandalous. Like I did some wild shit, and I gotta tell you, man, like I'll probably never do it again. But
I need to see these.
It was during the time where I was like 260 pounds too, so it was 10 times more funnier. I was cracking the fuck up while I was doing it. And I just remember when I put the first photo out, right? It was me like up against this blue wall, like this blue wall here. And then there was a picture of a girl who put on her jeans backwards, where the ass is in the front and the zipper is in the back, and she's showing her ass crack. So I did that photo.
Okay.
And I was butt naked, just like that, just like this and shit. I lost like 2,000 followers. Yo, I lost 2K followers.
Oh my God.
With a quickness. Motherfuckers homophobic as fuck. Like, yo, I ain't trying to see that shit. Well, don't watch it then, bitch.
And you DM it to him. I'm trying to think of what I've done to lose the most amount of followers in one full swoop. I can't.
This podcast was one for me. This podcast was a huge thing. I lost like 8,000 followers. I was like, God damn, you motherfuckers hate me.
What, like subscribers?
Yeah.
That's 8,000. That's no.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but I'm kind of like, damn, dude, it's like that. But they're
also, you know, anyone that actively goes out of their way to unfollow a channel,
quite active.
Like, let's think about that. That's like going to write a Yelp review for a restaurant that was 4 stars.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Exactly.
Like, you know, that it takes a lot.
There are channels that I'm subscribed to right now. I don't want to see any shit from them.
But I don't go out of my way to unsubscribe. Like, I don't give a shit.
It's not like the fucking algorithm works anyways, and I'm seeing their stuff anyways. Fucking YouTube, you fucking bitches.
It changes. It changes
all the fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter. That's so wild, man. Like you're a very fascinating person. Like you're so determined.
I didn't even know it. Now, honestly, you know what? Like, it's so whack, but like now I know. I didn't know that before. It's like I've been through so much shit, like, in my life. Just like I've been through like a lot of shit, and I've beat myself up for so long that, like, and that's why I'm still thankful for the experience of Smosh, because I was clinically depressed for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, horribly, like, since I was a kid. And when you spend so much of your life, like, and everything is gray, you don't even know what it looks like to be happier, for things to be in full Technicolor. And so when I came out to LA and I joined this company, everything was suddenly in Technicolor. Like, no matter what problems I had, or, you know, awkwardness, or, you know, friendships that weren't really establishing, things were so much different than me sitting in my room streaming video games from midnight until 8 a.m. Everything was in Technicolor. So for that, I am forever grateful. But
how do you play games like that?
Yo, I've been on it. Look, it has taken so much for me to get up from Apex Legends to come on this podcast. My black ass was up at 5 a.m. the other day on the kill board, almost late to work. I was up at 5 a.m. to play games for 3 hours before work.
How do you do that and then have a career?
Dude,
you're a fascinating human being.
Oh my God, David, stop.
That's crazy. There's some times where I'm so fucking horny, all I have to do is jack off and I fall asleep. Like I just sit there. I'm just like, you can do it, David. I'm like, you know what, bro? It's not worth it. You gotta fucking wash. You gotta do all this. I just knock the fuck out. That's what I'm saying. That's the type of laziness I have.
No, I'm lazy. I'm very.
You are not fucking lazy. Don't you fucking ever say you're fucking lazy.
I am.
I feel like a piece of shit next to you. Do you understand?
David, I'm just trying to get paid. Look, and the other thing is, I have a standard for myself. I have a standard for my needs and my life. I'll tell you this, people think I'm joking, right? They're like, oh, what are you gonna do when YouTube explodes? I already told you I'm sucking dick. Like, oh my God. When I was going through Uber the other day. I got so sad, David, because I was going through Skid Row. And like, I always wanted to see Skid Row because it's like, you know, for people that don't live in LA, it's
another world.
It's a couple, and I've heard that it's a couple streets of just like people are homeless, like streets and streets and streets. And so like, I had never seen Skid Row before. And I was so curious about this because in Virginia, where I live, there's not really a lot of homelessness, like at all, you know? And so like, it was just interesting. And I've heard so much about it. So like, I drove by like the other day and I saw on the map, I was like, we're coming up on Skid Row.
That's the first time you saw Skid Row?
Yes, dog. And you know what I was surprised by? There are so many women.
Yeah.
There are so many women and they're like attractive women. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, Skid Row too. Like what a lot of people don't know, like specifically for me because I volunteered at Skid Row, like Thanksgiving and shit, giving out stuff, whatever.
You give them socks?
It was food. So I was doing all the food stuff.
They need socks.
They need more than socks. They need Jesus. They need a prayer. They need some holy water and a nice bath. But like, you know, I'm not knocking on the homeless there.
Right.
What I'm saying is like what people don't know about Skid Row. When we tell these stories on JK News about like homeless people, right? And like, oh, that's not what all homeless people are like. I didn't say all homeless people, bitch. Yeah. Go to Skid Row and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Dude.
Like we tell these stories. Yo, I'm talking about I saw a dude, right? Who was black male that was flinging around nunchucks, right? I was like, oh, what the fuck? This dude's in the broad daylight flinging nunchucks and shit. Dude, it wasn't even nunchucks. It was like kielbasa. This motherfucker had sausages and he was just swinging around like nunchucks. Yo, how am I not supposed to laugh at that? That's just fucking wild, man.
Dude, if one of those sausages flew off in the street and got run over by a car, I'd be so upset. I'd be like, that's my food.
I have a collection of just these random things I saw at Skid Row. There was a dude that I saw just rocking at the edge of a curb as I'm about to pump and get gas. So there's this part on it's like Alameda. If you go, it's a Vero gas station. Dude's just rocking back and forth. He just goes, I'll suck your dick.
No.
I got so fucking scared. I don't even know why my zipper was down, but I zipped that shit right up and I went right into my fucking car. I said, I'm out of here.
Oh, no.
I didn't even pump gas. I was just going to risk it. I was like, fuck
why
it.
Why was your zipper down?
I don't fucking know. It's like he scared my zipper down. I was like, no. I think he was talking to me. He was like, I'm talking to you there, dumpling. I'm like, oh, shit.
He called you dumpling?
He said a lot of things to me. I'm fucking around. But they had dude, Skid Row is different because it's a drug situation. So a lot of people who are Skid Row, they're drug addicts, right? So we're not talking about people who are just, you know, home. There are people like that. But,
yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's a specific homeless area where there was a huge, like for example, like a couple of years ago, there was a lot of deaths that were happening at Skid Row because there was a synthetic drug that was made and they were passing it around and everybody's trying to get high and there's people just started fucking dying on Skid Row. All the homeless people because you know they're junkies and they're addicted to that shit, and it was something that was supposed to be really good and it started killing people. Like that's the type of dire situation there. So I tell you, there's a man out there scooping his shit out of his hand and smearing against the wall. It's not a story I'm making up. It's some real fucking shit.
Yeah, dude. Okay, if you were homeless, what would you do to get back on your feet?
I just told you. I suck some dick. No.
Dude, and I was talking to somebody the other night, like, okay, you know, with all the stuff that's been happening and like, I'm like, holy shit, you know, I have a career now. Like I have an actual career. And it's been such a weight off my shoulders because there's a question that all women ask themselves at some point in their life until they're all set up. And that's, am I going to have to suck some dick eventually to eat?
God damn.
I've asked myself that question so many times.
You're the hardest working woman on earth?
Because it scared me into working harder because I don't want to have to suck dick to eat dinner. I don't want to I know my mom's going to watch this podcast.
You know what the crazy thing is? I would suck dick. No,
I do, yeah, but I don't want to. And I feel like I've had conversations with my friends before, and they've been like, yeah, I've had to think like, what if I had to do something if like I didn't have my shit together? And so when I got home from work one day, I was like, I'll never have to suck dick to eat.
Yo, that's the best fucking t-shirt ever, dude. You gotta have that fucking cat on the fucking telephone line. Just like, I never have to suck dick for dinner.
Never have to suck dick for dinner. You made it way more cohesive. But yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, because I know a lot of homegirls, like, there's this one specific, I'm not going to say her fucking name, but she's really good. She's really good at finessing dudes, right?
Okay.
In the sense of like this, like, she just worked part-time jobs. She likes to get drunk and party, whatever. She was a really fun friend to have around. But like with her, like if she just like, fucking, I ain't going to work, she just find some dude. And then she would just fucking date them, bunk up with them, fuck them. And they would let her stay. And, they would be in like a relationship, but she doesn't really like them. She's just, sugar daddy for the moment. Dude. Like he would pay for her shit, and then she would just get back on her feet, get another fucking job, start partying and whatever, use his money until, he got sick of her. And she was so fucking good at that shit. See, guys don't got that. We don't even have that option. We don't have a.
Oh, you could definitely suck somebody off for like.
Yeah, but the money is not going
to.
Then the money's not going to be as good as yours. Like my money's going to be bad. Like I'm pretty sure.
You think I could charge more?
100%. What the fuck? Hold on a second. You think your dick sucking market value is the same as mine? I mean, mine's just in pesos. All right. Like denarii. I'm talking about some old fashioned money. Like is that how low do you see your fucking dick sucking number?
I mean, kinda. I mean, I don't.
Like as of right now, if people are watching this video and they put an auctioning bid for whose dick would be sucked by whose lips, it's definitely not going to be mine.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was in like fifth grade. You got some lips. David, you black.
No.
I remember when I was in like fifth grade, somebody told me I had DSLs, and like I'm a child of the internet, so I'm like, oh, the internet. They're like, nah, you got dick sucking lips. And I remember in fifth grade being like, you are a fifth grader. I was like, what the fuck? Who taught you that? And how do you?
And it's so funny with like when people talk about dick sucking lips, because that's just a funny joke that we say. But the size of the lip doesn't make the blowjob any better.
It doesn't. I have never once in my life been like, let me flatten out my lips to get maximum coverage. Like as long as you got some skin under here, like you're fine. Like you're absolutely fine. Like that's what matters.
Exactly.
In fact, get you a girl with an overbite.
Right.
Yeah, because she's got more upper lip space. Like that is not.
I'm about to walk around fucking LA, be like, bitch, you got that overbite? Yeah, you look super nice. It's like, what you mean? Nobody like me? I was like, no, bitch, I love that.
Nobody like me.
Ain't nobody like. Y'all gotta say you've been watching me for quite a while, and I don't even know why. Because girl, he was like, let me say, you ain't got dick sucking. You got that overbite, baby. You gonna graze the top of my dick perfectly fine with that big ass upper lip.
Small teeth, an overbite.
Girl, you all gums and all overbite.
You're all gums and
all. Look at you. I call you juicy fruit because you just all gums, baby. What's up?
No. But wait, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of like all of my friends that are good at it and like what qualities they have. And maybe it's not physical. Maybe it's mental. I think, determination.
Definitely.
A girl with lower self-esteem that feels like she's got to like really prove herself. Enthusiasm.
Man, I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know this too. Like or maybe you even know girls like this who now they're getting a little older. And now you're seeing all their insecurities come out because the girls who I know that predicated everything about who they are based on their looks, they can't stand aging right now.
Oh,
they cannot.
I never thought about that.
They cannot stand it, and I'm seeing them crumble, and it's starting to like a little bit break my heart a little bit because they have so much to offer aside from their looks, but because of how people treated them based on their looks, they can't look past that. Right? They just see, oh, look at this. Look at this. Look, nobody fucking cares. And also, you're like a 35-year-old woman. You're supposed to age a little bit. You still look fucking amazing.
Yeah, and they didn't. And the other thing is like some of them, because they got by so much on their looks, it was like not saying it was intentional, but it was like, why enhance yourself in other areas? Why work on yourself further? You know, I always thought I was so fucking ugly, but like now, like I don't even wear like makeup. I have on like mascara and like a little bit of eyebrows. Like I used to wear a lot of foundation because I have like terrible acne scars, but then I realized like the foundation is not gonna fill in the craters. That's it. This is what your girl looks like. Take it or leave it. But because I hated myself so much, I had to get funnier. I had to get good at video games. I had to have other things that made me better.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, like people who were like the most fucked up looking when they were younger and they figured out how to become pretty later, they're the best, right? Because if you see some of these like girls and you're like, yo, this girl, because there's girls who are pretty and they're fucking bitches, but there's also really beautiful. I mean, I say a great handful of them are beautiful women with great personalities because nobody was really born with this concept that they were always beautiful unless somebody told it to them constantly
and treated them that way.
Exactly, right? Because I know some people, come on, like you know these girls that were just busted when they were younger, and then you're like, you meet them now and they're like, well, they're really pretty. Look at their personality. They still got their busty girl personality. The same thing with dudes, like the dudes that were fucking like the dweeby, nerdy, like didn't know how to keep them, and then when they get older, they still have their better personality because they had to work on something outside their looks, and they kept all those great traits.
And it's not, and actually now that you say that, I was thinking about this the other day. It's not just women, it's dudes too. Why do you think you see girls, like pretty girls with really attractive guys when they're like in their 20s, but then when they're like in their 30s, they're still with good looking dudes, but it's not the jock anymore. Yeah. It's not the hottest dude in the room because we realized, okay, we need a little bit more to go with this. You know, my different phases were like, okay, I had to date the guy that I thought was the hottest because it was arm candy and it was going to make me feel better about myself because I got him. Yeah. And then it was, oh, okay, I'll date the cute guy that's kind of funny. And now I'm like, do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you have a good personality? And then we go to the looks.
Yo, it's because of those looks because they go like this, you know, and people say this shit too. Because of this like look thing that causes that, once again, like I mentioned before, a certain like type of like metric and value, they go, oh, I'm a dope person. I deserve somebody who looks better than this person. And that's what you think when you're younger. It's like, oh, I'm out of this person's league.
Yeah.
You know, and to that, like everybody felt that way when they're younger. And that's why when you get older, you mature. It's like, yeah, like, of course, we still want the person that we're with to be attractive. That's a given. Yeah. It's human fucking nature, right? Peacocks choose fucking other peacocks because their fucking feathers are nice and big and shite. I said shiny and bright, you know, and we have still those type of animal instincts, right? Same thing when it comes to somebody, the way they look, their weight, whatever, right? It's like a survival instinct. That's something that can't be denied. Here's the thing though, because we're smarter human beings, we can put other factors in there, right? Because like for me, I thought I was gonna end up with either number one, light-skinned black girl, number two, curvy Latina, or number three, angry Vietnamese girl. That's it. That's all I thought. That's all I thought I was going to end up with, right? But I ended up with a very cute Korean girl, right? Just very spry, very sprightly, super clean, very innocent, very kind. And I thought I was just going to end up with just this fucking spicy, saucy bitch. And I was like, that's the type of women that I like, but it wasn't, right? Yeah. It's because I put that limit on myself. I told myself that this is the type of woman that I deserve or that I wanted. And it wasn't even the case. It's not even my fucking type. Like, I don't even know why I thought that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I discovered that, like, you know, I thought that I wanted the funny guy, the blah, blah, blah. But he's, like, you know, he's funny because he's probably got problems. And I don't know if he's worked through them or not. You know, like, and now I'm with somebody that, like, oh, my God, we have the best communication. Yeah. Like, the communication's fantastic. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. Like, you know, same sense of humor. Not over the top. Like, you know, I wanted somebody that, like, personality-wise was, like, at like a 10, like, for craziness, humor, blah, blah, blah. You know, I got somebody that was a little more toned down, but excelled in other areas. Yeah. And I didn't know that that's what I really wanted until, you know, you got it.
You can't be with no crazy-ass loud dude. You already there. You have, like, that's like two suns smashing into each other.
Oof.
You know what would happen?
I've been there before. It was crazy. I've been there.
I bet those fights were crazy too because it's just two intense people going at it. Like, what the fuck was that like?
You know, so, you know, funny, like my last relationship that made me not date anyone for 4 years, I was dating this Korean dude named Esteban. from Argentina.
Oh, there's a lot of Korean people in Argentina.
Yeah.
A lot.
And his family had moved from Korea to Argentina, and then for some reason they had to leave Argentina and come to the U.S. and they were so mad about it, and they would never like learn English, and they didn't like any of the people here. So I had to learn Korean so that I could speak to his mom and like watch like shows with her and shit like that.
Can you speak Korean?
I can read like Hangul like pretty well, but I can't really speak it anymore.
Oh shit, that's fucking wild. How can you ever say that you're lazy?
I used to love learning languages. Like when I was in high school, the first language I started learning was Vietnamese. Like I started watching
Vietnamese, the most fucking difficult language.
It's not that difficult. It's just tonal.
It's hard to speak. It's easy to learn because like what I love about like Vietnamese and a lot of Asian languages is that there's no separate term for this, that, your, that. It's just one thing for an object over there. Right? And so that's what I like. But pronouncing it was very difficult. You chose a language that sounds like somebody talking while they're drinking water.
Well, you know why? Because I used to watch this. I used to watch this show called Noi Bien, and it was called Mystery Person, and so like they would.
Yo, did you watch Paris by Night too?
No, I didn't. What is that?
Paris by Night is like it's like Vietnamese Grammys that they have. What? It's in Vegas. They had the show in Vegas.
Dude, Vietnamese shows are the shit.
Yo, like it's so funny
They
too.
are.
So Joe actually based one of his characters, Uncle Chen, off of a character that was on Paris by Night. And Paris by Night was like a music concert, like Grammys thing that would happen like 17 times a year. You know what I mean?
That is some Vietnamese shit too.
Yeah.
It is good, but it's like it's so good. Oh, you gotta watch Noi, dude. That's like it's the best show. I don't know why they didn't bring it to America yet. Look, let me tell you the concept. All right, look, just let me tell you. So it's a show where they have like these 5 judges, and then they put 3 people on stage, and they say one person is a flamethrower. And so they have to ask the 3 people different questions, and they have to figure out who's actually the mystery person and who like really doesn't do it. And it's just so outlandish. It'll be like some crazy shit, like somebody that used to be a Russian spy, and they like won't look anything like it. I love that shit. So I used to watch that show a lot, and so I just decided I wanted to learn Vietnamese, and then I really liked learning languages and stuff.
So what, are you fluent in any of them?
No, I just started learning them as a hobby. I started doing Spanish like 6 months ago because I thought that it would be like tactical, and I just didn't enjoy it, so I just never.
That's the thing, you have to enjoy it.
Yeah,
or it's damn near impossible to learn.
And you also have to use it, otherwise you just completely lose
but
language.
Spanish is mad useful here though. Like I could have used it today. Somebody was helping me move my bed into my place, and I wanted to like talk to him so bad because he looked so friendly, but he didn't speak any English, and I just like C. That's all I got. All I got is C. I'm like C. Like I know how to fucking do like an East LA accent, but that's not gonna help him. You know what I mean? I can't be up to him and like, hey, vato, just put it in the fucking corner and shit, eh?
I mean, I don't know. I wish that I had learned it so that I could like speak to people. I can't. And then also the thing is I loved learning languages, but when it actually came to speaking to somebody, I would get so shy.
You gotta let go of that shit.
Yeah.
Because I've been reading books on how to learn languages, and apparently that's one of those things. Like you have to every single like forum that I've read, they said you have to get rid of that notion that you're gonna sound and look stupid because you are.
That's true.
And you just have to accept that. But people will correct you and then you move on. So for me, I'm supposed to learn Japanese by this year, and I was supposed to start in January 1st. It is now almost March.
You need help, dog?
Like I need to learn Japanese. Like
why?
Because Mariel speaks Japanese, so she speaks Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, and English.
Oh.
Yeah, fluently, and then she could also read and write in all of them.
Oh my god, a polyglot.
Yeah,
dude, I would be down to learn Japanese. I will ride with you.
I want to go to Japan and then just fucking. Well, for me, I'd look Japanese, but see, for you, I want you to scare the fuck out of somebody.
Just coming in hot, fluent.
Yeah, just like, oh, what the fuck? But they do have a lot of like people in Japan that are like of like mixed race, and it just shocks the fuck out of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
But you're Japanese size though. You're like what, 5'2"?
I'm like 5 feet tall. Well, I came in with heels,
so
that's
I
was like a little taller today.
That's right. You're like a Japanese basketball player. That's right. Yeah, I play.
I'm like 5 feet tall, dude.
Damn, you fucking bite size as shit.
I know. I think that's why I have Napoleon complex. That's why I'm so loud.
Oh, maybe
I gotta make up for my short stature. Cause like tiny girls, like we're loud. We're very like dominant.
Yo, man, there's this one girl back in Sacramento. I mean, we're still friends to this day. She's a little Vietnamese girl. Her name is Tuyet. This bitch, fucking in high school, used to be so fucking loud. She's a lot more mellow now, but she was so fucking loud and so physically aggressive. Like we would clown on her for a little bit, and she would full on throw blows at us, like big ass bombs. And she would think it's funny because she's small, but she got fucking bricks for fists. And I'm waking up the next day like bruised. It looks like I was in an abusive relationship. My dad's like, "Where'd you get those bruises?" I can't tell him it's from a fucking little Vietnamese girl. Like, where'd you get that? I was from this fucking guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I came up to me, I was like, "What's up, cuz?" And I started throwing gang signs, you know?
Is she still super aggressive now?
Not anymore. She's a lot more mellow. But Tiet cracks me up. Tiet, if you ever watch this, I'm not making fun of you, but I kind of am. Like, Tiet, this girl's so fucking funny in high school. So Tiet, she has like a bit of an accent. Like she has like a Vietnamese accent or whatever, right? And I'm not even sure if it's a Vietnamese accent per se, but it's a little bit of like, I don't want to say it's a speech impediment, but it kind of is. But
I have never heard anybody refer to an accent as a speech impediment.
It's not
like, I'm trying to think, like, you know how sometimes my like southern accent kind of slips out if somebody was like, "Oh, well, Boze has got a little bit of a speech impediment."
No,
like,
no, it's not. Like, Tiet doesn't sound like this. She's not sounding like, "Hey, what the hell, man? So you want to go eat some food later? Like, maybe, hey, David, I haven't seen you long time no see." Like, she's not saying that type of shit. You know, she's not like, "Trời ơi, like, I haven't seen you long time." You know, like, she's not doing that. You know what I mean? But I think it's because, like, in her household, they speak mainly Vietnamese. But obviously, when she goes to school, everybody speaks English. So she never got to learn both languages very well. So she's a man without a land. So she doesn't have.
She's a man without a land.
Like, so she basically, you know, I heard that her Vietnamese, her accent is great, but it's not prolific as it should be for somebody who doesn't speak English as well. But this bitch in high school, man, like, I remember, like, I had already had trouble understanding her then. And so when we were in school, we were learning something about immigration, and I told her this shit. We were at lunch, and then people didn't know that I was an immigrant, that I wasn't born here. Like, my first language was Korean, and then I became a citizen like maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we were all talking, and then they were like, "Yo, so, you know, David, when did you come to America?" I was like, "I came here when I was like 2.5 years old, 3 years old, or whatever, something like that." And they were like, "Oh, cool." And I looked at Tiet. I was like, "Tiet, when did you come to America?" And then she looks at me. She goes, "David, so I was born here." And first of all, I thought she was joking, right? So I fucking laughed at her face. Like, she told the funniest joke. Yo, I thought she was being funny. So I went, "Ha ha! Ah!" I started dying laughing. Like, I was cracking the fuck up.
No.
And she goes, "David, so I was born here." And I'm
Does
like,
she
"Bitch."
always say your full name?
Yeah,
before?
everybody always says my full name.
So good.
So, "David, so I was born here." And I was like, "Bitch, you are so fucking funny. Get the fuck out of here. You and your jokes. What you talking about? You ain't born." And she goes, "I was born." And then my friend Phoebe, she grabs me. She goes, "David, she was actually born here," actually hurting her feelings.
Oh my God.
And then you would think that would get me to stop, but I couldn't stop laughing because of how much I embarrassed myself. And so I just kept laughing in her face. And lo and behold, as I was walking, this bitch socked me and threw me into a bush. This girl would not stop putting hands on me, dude. Like, if she was a guy, we would have traded blows. Like, she was so she was so fucking physically aggressive. I shit you not. I once saw my friend in his white Honda Accord. He ran from one side to the other, and he fucking WWF drop kicked her outside the other side of the door because she wouldn't leave his car. Like, she's that type of aggressive. Like, people would drop kick her like it's nothing. Yo, shout outs to Tiet, dude.
That was wait. So I just thought about something. Wait, how much time we got?
Because we got as much time as you want.
Well, because I got one more story.
Go, tell me.
Because I told you I was gonna tell you about the bitch.
Oh yeah, yo. So check this out. So,
oh my God.
Yo, we were on Twatters, right? We were on the Twatters, right? And I read this tweet that just fucking, number one, made me laugh, and number two, had me mad and irritated. And it was basically, you know, I'm gonna let you tell the fucking story because it's so ridiculous.
I'm gonna tell the backstory.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I wish I could type all this out, but I didn't. So I told you that I work with like a lot of like, you know, attorneys and stuff. There's a group of like newer attorneys. They're basically like the baby lawyers, and they throw parties and like mixers and stuff. So this shit makes me so mad. Okay, so it's the first mixer, and remember, I've been at this company for like a little over 2 months now, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I'm running the marketing department, but we don't have an individual like social media person. And so I'm like, well, I know that these events have, you know, 80 to 100 people that attend. I need those fucking pictures. And I'm going to go there, drink, eat, be merry, take the pictures, get paid, get out, you know?
Yeah.
So I get there and I sit down and like I'm early. Like I'm like 30 minutes early. So I start setting up. I have to put the sign up that's like, you know, the legal shit, like photography will be used for this. If you enter, you consent, you know. I'm setting up. And then I get a glass of wine, I order some food, and I'm chilling. and then the people start rolling in.
Yeah.
And I start rolling around, like walking around and like snapping some pictures. And like none of my pictures really looked good. And it was kind of dark in there. And that's when it hit me. I was like, damn, I got to ask people like, hey, can you pose for a picture? And like, you know, I'm used to like me, you know, somebody like posting a picture of me or something, you know? And so like, and I'm also like I'm kind of like, I don't want to say a shy person, but like, I don't know how to approach people that I don't know. I'm afraid of rejection. So it's hard for me to approach people that I don't know. You know, somebody I'm comfortable with, I'm like, you know. But, you know, so I'm sitting there at the table and I start looking around. I'm like, shit, I gotta like talk to some people. And I see this group of girls and they're like, they're really good looking. Like they have a great look for camera. They would be perfect for like holding their drinks and like, oh, we're having a nice time. And so like I'm awkward and I'm nervous. And I think maybe I showed weakness. So I sat there for a second and I was like, damn, I gotta talk to them. No, don't. And then I was like, no, just get up, own this shit, do your job, get your pictures, like let's fucking ride. And so I get up and I was like, hey, can I get a picture of you guys for social media? And then this girl looked at me and she was like, can you? And
excuse me?
I was like, David, in my head, the situation was gonna play out. Oh yes. Pose, next group of people. And so like, I just fucking froze.
Her response was, oh, can you? As if she's a fucking annoying teacher?
Can you?
What you mean, can you, bitch? You trying to get fucking cut?
Oh, no, it gets worse. So I'm, at that point, my confidence was shattered. I crumbled because I was not expecting that. So I go to what I've done for the past 20 years. I go to comedy. And so I just say, yeah, if I click this button, I can.
That's dope.
And so I'm like, you know, that's my save, right? And so then she's like, yeah, you can take our picture. And this one's the prettiest one out of all of them, right? And she's like, yeah, you can take my picture, but I'm a headhunter. Can you tag or she's like, I'm a headhunter. Is that okay? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then this other girl looks at me and she's like, you don't know what a headhunter is? And she's like, it's basically a person that tries to steal lawyers from other firms and bring them to another firm and they get the referral fee. And I was like, oh, okay, because like, you know, I'm working for like a firm and like an organization. So I'm like, oh shit. And so I just say, oh, I don't know the protocol for that. And she was like, really? Well, can you tag my headhunting firm? Can you do that? And I'm just like, kind of just like backed into a corner at this point.
That's when you fucking get a fucking glass of red wine and you fucking splash it. Okay, I'm not even going to, let me just tell you real quick, all right? Number one, by the voice that you use, she sounds El Blanco. Okay? Because that sounds like some El Blanco shit. For you people out there that don't know Spanish, broken Spanish, that's white. With a capital H. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like some like hoity-toity, I'm better than you type of shit.
Yeah.
Does she not know that her people owe you reparations? Does she? Does she not?
She looked like she had a little spice in her, but for the most part, yes. And like she was very attractive.
Give a fuck what you look like, bitch. You don't talk to me like that. I will slash your fucking tires and tell you the neighbor did it, bitch.
Damn it.
The fuck?
So, like at this point, I'm just broken.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not expect this conversation to go this way, and it's just taking a hard left. And so, like, I'm very nervous. And so, like, I kind of get quiet for a second, and I'm processing. And I didn't say this, but I looked at them, and I'm like, oh, they're pretty. This makes sense. They're not attorneys. They're supposed to be hot so that they get the attorneys. And so, in my head, I'm like, yeah, they're definitely headhunters. And then she just like, and she's still looking at me, and she's like, you're not an attorney, are you? And I'm
now we trying to be classist?
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, now you trying to put me in a category like I'm not worth your fucking time?
David, it gets worse.
Has the bitch ever got backhanded with some fucking baby powder before?
Dude, that's why I said I think I showed weakness, because I should have been able to handle this. You know when like after something bad happens, you're in the shower, you're like, I should have said this, I should have done this, I should have, you know. I played that. I woke up at 4 a.m. after this happened in a cold sweat. So she's like, you're not an attorney, are you? And I was like, no, I'm in marketing. And she said, oh, so you're just here to take our photos. And that's when I short circuited, and I was like, and I turned around and I sat back at my table. And here's the worst part, David.
How you gonna let somebody talk to you like that?
I broke. I completely broke. No. But so we're getting there. So, but the worst part about it is when I turned around to sit at my table, the tables were this style. They were like benches. So my table was about 4 inches away from my table. So when I turned back around, I sat literally basically next to her at a table with like this much space away. And I was just staring at my glass of wine. And I was like, so these were the first people I had approached to take pictures. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was just like fucking traumatized. So then some other girl was really nice and like came over and like talked to me for a while. And then later on, this guy that was like the president of the Young Lawyers, whatever, he had come over and talked to me, and he was like, "Oh, you had a fantastic presentation today. I want you to meet these people." And I looked over and I could see this bitch, and I was like, "You hear this? You hear this shit? You know?
You hear that fucking great white bitch?
Yeah, you great white
with your
bitch.
fucking jagged ass teeth and your pointed ass nose, your fucking Anglo-Saxon slut."
Dude, so that is what happened before that. So for y'all that don't know, so that was it for that interaction. So and remember, there was 3 girls. So the one was the real bitchy one, and then she had another friend. And because they just wanted to put that little sizzle, that little fucking nail in the coffin to fuck me up. When they were like leaving, I was standing there talking to somebody, and she just pulls my shoulder back, and she was like, Can you delete any photos that you have of me?
Hold on, she touched you?
Oh, she pulled my shoulder back.
You do not. Okay, first of all, let's just put this as a precursor. If you put your hands on somebody that you don't know and it's not in a friendly way, expect to get the fucking cat claws. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying cat claws because I'm a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? I would say lion paws, but that's not gonna happen. I got cat claws. You about to get sliced.
Like I really wish that I had just.
I would have just been like,
help you?
Yeah, but what'd you do, Dan?
Dude, I mean, and she came at me so fast. She like pulled my shoulder back and she was like, can you delete any photos that you have on me that you guys are posting? I have an agent and I usually get paid for endorsements because I have over 5,000 followers. And I was like, oh, okay.
5,000 followers. Oh, you so precious. You have 5,000 followers. Ooh. You don't know who the fuck you were talking to, did you? You fucking cuntbag. 5,000 followers, and I'm not knocking people who work towards having 5,000. But if you're somebody with followers,
you're gonna like flash that, and you're gonna be rude to somebody with that, and so. Okay, so y'all that don't know, but this is how the conversation went because I had to condense it for Twitter. I said, oh, okay. I was like, it's kind of dark in here. Can I have your social media tag so that I can identify you in photos?
Yeah.
And then she gave me her tag and I said, okay, I'll drop you a follow too.
Yeah. Oh shit.
And so like you guys that don't know, like I have like I think like 160,000 followers or something like that. Like I don't care about that shit.
Yeah.
But in this situation,
it mattered.
It had to be done. This was God's work. I had to do it. So after she left, I never followed somebody so goddamn fast in my fucking life. So I followed her on the firm's account and I followed her on my account just so like it looked a little more friendly. Like I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm funny, you know?
Yeah.
And I left it overnight and then the next morning I woke up and I got scared because like she's connected. I was afraid that she was gonna like call my boss and make some petty shit up or do something. So I ended up unfollowing her, but I know she saw that shit. And also to be fair, she had 7,200 followers.
Oh, 7,200. So that allows you to be a bitch to people.
Oh, but I know she saw it. I know
of course she saw it. Of course she did. She pulled out that number saying, look, not only am I a headhunter, right? I'm not only am I a fucking headhunter, which by the way, bitch, that means you're also not a fucking lawyer, you cuntbag.
She actually was an attorney. Like she said to me like afterwards, she was like, "No, I am just kidding. I am an attorney." Like she was just being a fucking bitch, you know? So
why did you not put hands on her?
Because I couldn't even stay following
next
the
time
bitch.
that happens, you call me up, right? Cause I still got a little booblets. I just gotta push bra this shit up. And then, I got a long fucking wig, and I'm putting hands on her, dude.
I could just see you just pulling her face like this and just
boom. And then she's like, "Who are you, you fucking big bitch? I'm a UFC fighter, ho. Like, what's good? Yo. And I still got my balls, bitch. I'm Fallon Fox, ho."
My favorite thing about this was that Gio, Gina, everybody, like, because we have a group chat. Like, we have a group chat that we, like, talk about shit. And everybody came down. They were like, Boze, who is this bitch? And I was like, if I was petty enough, we were all about to come down on her. Like, every single one of us I just was waiting.
Dude,
I wanted to like a picture. And just
I'm talking about people like that have never been checked in their life. And people like that also grew up in a way where everybody treated them special because they think that their fucking shit don't stink. They think that they shit fucking diamonds. Well, guess what, bitch? Bullets don't discriminate.
No, oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? A backhand feel the same way on everybody's fucking left cheek, you fucking dumb hoe.
It's coming.
This is what I'm saying. Like, that's the exact type of person I fucking hate. Like, never once in my life have I ever flexed that I had certain the one time I actually flexed on it, when I flexed on a fucking 80-year-old grandpa that was fixing my camera. Right? So this is what happened. Let me tell you this. I've used my fucking following. I flex this shit hard.
Oh, no.
So I went to this dude out in the K-Town area that fixes cameras and stuff, right? Really sweet dude. But he has this really dope camera shop that has a lot of vintage shit. And I wanted to take a picture of it. This is amazing. And so I whip out my camera to take a photo. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Because I was going to give him a 5-star Yelp review, which I don't do Yelp, right? So I was trying to do a good deed.
Yeah.
But he just comes up to me and he goes, excuse me, sir. Do I just walk into your house and start taking photos? And I looked at him and I was like, David, use your following. That's the shit that popped in my head. I was like, oh, I have like 200,000 followers. I was just going to give you, like good press. Like, it's, because I wanted to take the photo of his place because it looks so awesome. And he goes, does it look like I care? And I was like,
oh no.
Checkmate.
Oh no.
And I said, delete the photo. Boop, and I deleted the photo.
I like how he said, do I come into your house? Do I take
photos. I'm like, this man has a point. It is his place.
Yeah, like, dude, like, we live in a little social media bubble where, like, like, we are, I almost said woke, but is there a better word than woke?
Awake.
We are awake, and we know that shit doesn't matter, but then there's still some people that are trapped in the bubble, and some people forget that there's this other community that doesn't give a shit how many followers you have.
Yep.
They don't give a shit.
The one time I used it was on an 80-year-old man because I liked the way he fixed my cameras. And the only reason why is that I just wanted to take a photo of his place because I liked it to give him a Yelp review.
Yeah, I flexed on that bitch hard, though.
Yeah,
I sure did.
You didn't flex hard enough, though. I would have fucking flexed so fucking hard, my T-shirt would have came off. That shit would have tore up in a million shreds. I would say,
crumbled, David. I crumbled. I really did, too. I sure did.
I'm a headhunter. I'm like, oh, my God, you suck dick.
Have you ever been slapped before?
I've been slapped by friends, but not like in a confrontation.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot of people that I believe have never been slapped before. I've been slapped before.
That bitch has never been slapped.
Dude, yeah, no, I actually, funny story. I remember I got into when I was like 13. Yeah. I was at the arcade, right? And there was this girl. Her name was Louisa. She still follows me on Instagram. We cool now. Hey, Louisa. But we were in the arcade and like we had some beef on MySpace and like I was walking away and she was like, I thought so, and like hard R, like she was Latina and she hit me with the hard R, right? And guess what I did, David? I turned around. I was like, what the fuck did you say, bitch? What? I hit her. Well, David, next thing you know, I was on the ground and Louisa had taken her metal bangle bracelet and flipped it over her fist and was hitting me in the face with it repeatedly.
Was Louisa born in a prison? Did the bitch also fucking squeeze out a shank out her puss?
Oh,
like the fuck?
And it was a plastic bracelet too.
Yo, how old was she? Like 7?
We were like 12, 13, 14 maybe?
That bitch was born in prison. Her father also has 12 face tattoos. That's not a normal fucking bitch.
Well, you know what I learned from that is that you can call me whatever you want and I'll just keep walking.
And her name is Louisa. That sounds like a big bitch too.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it was the bracelet, man. It was the bracelet. And I remember mall security pulled us apart. And I remember the security guard said, he was like, well, I guess we know who won that fight.
Damn.
I got fucked up,
Let me tell you something.
David.
When you naming your fucking Latina child Louisa is like naming your white girl fucking Bertha. You know what I mean? You already know what the fuck that woman looks like.
That's a strong name.
That's a strong ass fucking Big Bertha.
That is a strong name.
Lazy Louisa.
They were like, let's take the name Lewis and make it feminine. I was like,
You know what you do with people though? Like that one fucking lawyer, right? That acts super smart. So this is what I used to do. I don't do it anymore. Now I just let things slide. But I try to act as dumb as possible so they can educate me on stuff and have them constantly explain things to me. So for example, if she goes, "You don't know what a headhunter is?" And I'd be like, "You're a stripper."
David,
Right?
have you ever had a situation? Because like normally, like I'm quick, like I'm ready, like I'm ready to go. But like, girl,
I've had that like when I couldn't process what was going on, and then after I processed it, I'm like, hold on a second, I just got slighted.
Just got finessed.
Yeah, somebody fucking just gave me the fucking French glove backhand to the face, and that's only after. But usually when somebody comes at me like they're smart and they're better than me, then I fucking show up. Where it's like I become the bumpkin and I just have them try to explain things to me. Like for example, this is just a quick story. There was this dude that my manager introduced me to. This fucking guy, slick back hair, fucking sweater around his neck, tucked in shirt. He worked for like an insurance company, and he was a coworker of this dude I knew named Malik. And so the guy he's over here just talking about his fucking fancy fucking world he grew up in. And mind you, when I first came to LA, I was super confrontational, like hyper confrontational. And so the guy just comes up and he goes, "Oh, I've just been traveling across the world." He goes, I went to, what's it? Beer Fest, or what's that shit in Germany? Yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, Oktoberfest. He goes, "Oh, I went to Oktoberfest." And I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "You don't know what Oktoberfest is in Germany?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Germany, the country?" And I was like, I don't know. What are you saying? And then my manager's literally punching me in the leg. He's like, "Stop." And I'm
stop it.
Because I'm like,
that's some mom shit too. Stop it.
Yeah, he's telling me to stop, right? Because, he's introducing me to these people. They have a lot of money.
Oh my God.
And he was like, "Okay, well, I'm traveling a lot to different worlds." Like, it just really opened up my mind and stuff. He's like, "Well, when you get there, you'll probably do it too." I was like, "Kid, where?" He goes, where I'm at, Germany? Just sitting there, just constantly doing this, and he's getting fucking irritated. And the whole time
I would be so mad at you.
And this whole time he's trying to tell stories to everybody around the table after he just like talked to me like I'm a peasant, and I'm just overly laughing at everything that he's doing. So he's just telling a story. He'll just be like, "Oh yeah, so me and I'm like," like I have to, because he treated me like I was trash. And I was like, if you're trying to embarrass me, I can out embarrass whatever you're going to do to me. And so like I used to be that type of guy. It's like if you do something where you make me feel like I'm beneath you, we got a fucking problem.
Oh yeah.
Like you could be disrespectful, you could call me fat, fuck, whatever. That's fine. But when you treat me like I'm a class beneath you, that's when I get fucking mad. Because there's a lot of personal shit with that. You know what I mean? Specifically, number one, I didn't grow up with a lot of fucking money. And I didn't realize how poor I was until I went to college. Because everybody's poor where I grew up.
Yeah.
We just were all broke fucking kids. It didn't fucking matter. There was no class issue there. But I went to college, I first experienced that shit, and that shit used to make me mad, and it brings up those type of feelings. So that whole fucking dinner, I was just riding his ass. I guess is that a saying? I was riding his fucking ass.
Riding his dick.
I was playing with the ridges on his butthole. That's what I was doing. I think that's a saying.
No, I'm in the same boat. Next time we do this, I gotta start reading you some of my bitchy emails from work, because I got some I do not tolerate some stuff. Like where I work right now, there's like I work with some people where occasionally they're kind of more the outsourced people. They like to make a lot of excuses. And like when you ask them something, they'll just like make a bunch of excuses.
Yeah.
And then usually people respond to their excuse, and then they respond to that with an excuse. And I learned that I just need to ask them the fucking question again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add, and then it just all dissipates. So I have some very petty people. I'm gonna share that one day.
I gotta see all of that shit, dude.
It's
people
fun.
are fucking fascinating.
So
we were talking for an hour and a fucking half.
I know.
Yo, we could go on for fucking days.
I know. That's why I said we're gonna have to hit the part too.
I know, but I'll tell you this though. Boze, you are welcome anytime, just because number one, you and I, we fucking chop it up. I gotta tell you, there's a lot of people that come on JK News, and there's only a few people that I hyper connect with, and you're definitely one of them.
Yes, bitch. It's because we're real. It's because we're authentic people, and I think that we feel that like authenticity. And so it's like when you speak, I don't have to process anything that you say through a filter. I'm like, what David's saying to me is exactly what he means. Whereas some people, I have to look for their motive or why they're saying this or doing something. And so like we get to just talk in free flow. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you might be like me too, where all of our group of friends, like the people that we connect with and we fuck with, they're all different human beings too. Like you can't really put us into like a small group and say like these people will probably hang out with these type of people.
Yeah.
It's because the only fucking requirement that I have to connect with somebody is that you have to be a genuine, honest person. You could be gamer, you could be this, and I don't give a fuck as long as you're a real person, and then we kind of get along, and we get a. That's all that is required, because, like you said, I don't got to figure out what your motives are. You're just you. Yeah. And now I can make the choice of whether I fuck with you or not. You know, and I'm saying, you invited anytime.
I fucks with you, man.
Yeah, we got to call this section Spilling the Motherfucking Tea. I love the shit. But anyways, guys, you guys could check Genius Brain Podcast on iTunes, CastBox, Spotify, any kind of audio platform out there. Go ahead, give us a thumbs up on the video. Share the fucking video. Share the audio stuff, because we're having more of these type of conversations just because, you know, it's fucking fun. And where can they find you, Boze?
Oh, I'm just really on Instagram now. But look, Big Boss Boze. Or on Twitter. Sometimes I talk shit. Like every 2 months, I'll pop in and like talk some shit.
Follow her on Twitter. It's hilarious.